Only in Postal do we get the fun of watching schoolgirls step on landmines. What up, house? It's Rufus. Working on a couple big new videos right now, but in the meantime, here's a little quickie to tide you over. Now, I started this channel with a review of the controversial shooter Postal, a darkly satirical game about a guy who goes totally fucking insane and embarks on a murderous rampage through a small town in Arizona. Earlier this year, I talked about Special Delivery, its expansion pack, which really pushed things over the top and perfected the dark humor the series is known for. But before we move on to Postal 2, which, that's a lot to unpack, I want to have a quick look at one of the more obscure and bizarre entries in the Postal series, the infamous Japanese expansion, Super Postal. Yep, that's right. The Postal dude's going to Japan. Let's get started. So there's absolutely no explanation given for how our main character, a mass-murdering lunatic, magically got himself from his hometown of Paradise, Arizona to Japan of all places. But fuck it. This short 2-level expansion sees the dude killing his way through a couple of major cities. First, Tokyo, specifically the bustling downtown Akihabara district, and then Osaka, where he blasts his way down the famous Dotonbori shopping street. Besides the new levels, there's also a bunch of new civilian characters added, complete with authentic Japanese dialogue. Now, the gameplay here is identical to the original. You can check out my first video for a more detailed explanation, and forgive the fact that I recorded it on a cheap headset with a wicked fucking cold. Essentially, you have a shitload of guns and your goal is to kill goddamn everybody, particularly all the guys who are trying to kill you, but optionally a bunch of civilians as well if you feel like being a real bastard. There's no new weapons or enemies in this expansion, so the real appeal here is just the novelty of transplanting our favorite anti-hero into a totally foreign environment. Super Postal, or as it's known in Japan, the Postal Power-Up Kit, was released in 2000 by Micromouse, a company whose primary bread and butter was translating American computer games for the Japanese market. The add-on includes a complete voice translation of the game, which, by the way, is fucking hilarious. But Micromouse decided to take it one step further and add a couple of bonus levels for Japanese players. For nearly 2 decades, it became something of a legend for Postal fans. It wasn't available in the West at all, and Micromouse shut its doors in 2005, so for years the only way to play these levels was to download them illegally and hack them into the game. Then, in 2017, Running with Scissors, creators of the original Postal, finally cleared up the red tape and added all of the Super Postal content to the Steam version of the game for the rest of the world to enjoy. Again, all of my comments about the original game apply to Super Postal as well, but what I really enjoyed about the add-on was the level design. Unlike most of the original game where the levels felt dirty and dark, these are large, vibrant city settings, and there are lots of distinctly Japanese in-jokes scattered around, like how the Tokyo vending machines dispense health power-ups, or how you find a building smashed by Godzilla and even hear his roar. The spoof Akihabara billboards are fun too, like Shitoba instead of Toshiba. And the Osaka level is actually a pretty faithful recreation of the famous Dotonbori Street, complete with local landmarks like the canal and even the Glico Running Man. Except here he's a big fat guy with fried chicken and cake. Good stuff. But, same as the last expansion, it's too damn short. Last time we only got 4 levels, this time just 2? If they sucked, it'd be fine, but they were fun. I want more murder. So I'm giving this one 6 dead Japanese schoolgirls out of 10. It's just a tiny bit of bonus content, and it doesn't bring anything new to the table, but it's fun and weird and worth checking out if you're a fan of the series. Super Postal was originally released as a CD for old-school Windows computers, but I doubt it'll work today even if you manage to find a copy. Fortunately, the original Postal, as well as the Special Delivery and Super Postal expansions, are all now available on Steam, bundled together for just $2 and updated so they work on current Windows, Mac, and Linux computers. Unfortunately, the Android release of Postal does not include the Japan levels, and there's no version for iOS. There is a Nintendo Switch port, but nothing for Xbox or PlayStation. So, if you're a Postal fan and you have a computer or a Switch, I highly recommend taking a little murder vacation to the land of the rising sun. Links in the description.
Run! It's Godzilla!
It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not.
Still, we should run like it is Godzilla!
Though it isn't.
Till next time, kids, go fuck yourself.